Welcome to Past Life Regression Demonstrated from online Zoom Past Life Regression sessions. So you watch a demonstration of me with a real life client and I will give you commentary. Maggie is a psychologist and academic dealing with issues of confidence to work as a spiritual healer and limiting beliefs and trauma from her past. Here's a 1-minute summary and sample of Maggie's experience. She started wondering if she could access a hypnotic state and past life memories.
It's very hard for me to get visual information.
Interactive session can help. Then we find highly emotional negative causative events in a past life and reconnect with past skills, leading to a wisdom and peace. Narrative for Maggie. Get the full message. You can hear me and you can see.
My students.
Yes, what happens to your students?
Oh, save them.
Stay with the emotion and learn the thoughts connected to it. Post-session interview with Maggie. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Interesting experience.
Yeah, I feel I have found some piece of myself.
This will be a really useful teaching tool for people.
So too.
Interview Maggie. For me, the two key things that come out are basically fear and forgiveness. You also mentioned a little bit of hesitancy or fear of what might be there, and a bit of a tendency to sort of black out a little bit in certain things where you hear words and then you're not quite sure what happened and you come back. And so this is saying that you're in a safe space now and it's okay to have that information come up because we can process and deal with it, and we've got, we can work as a team to do that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm quite comfortable.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So despite all this preparation, notice that facial gesture and her pursed lips. She's still nervous, and we're going to have to work with her to unfreeze and help her find her voice to speak in a way that encourages her inner healer. This is an overall issue we have to deal with as a presenting issue, and it's something we have to deal with throughout our process and the session itself. So we can see how we do that as we move into the session itself, beginning with the induction. Induction, Maggie. You can start by taking a few conscious deep breaths. So breathing in and then holding on to it and exhaling, releasing and letting go. That's it. Breathing in your own time, holding on to it a little bit so you notice the space in between your breathing. And you can exhale, release and let go. So you can follow along in the script and see how I interweave the sections, breathing and hypnosis directions. Because you can breathe consciously now, and you can choose to change the way you breathe consciously. And soon you'll find that you're not consciously breathing, but that your breathing is happening automatically for you with no effort. Because here you don't need to try. You can hear everything you need to hear. And you can hand over to your subconscious mind. And you can relax the body, and paradoxically you can do that by tensing it a little. So now you can slowly bring your hands up in front of you. So slowly lifting your hands and have your palms facing you, and then squeeze the fingers together. So locking them in place at the elbows and having your hands squeezing the fingers together, squeezing, trying, tensing, and keep your eyes fixed on those fingers. Let your eyes move towards the fingers, squeezing, tensing, tightening, and then slowly, slowly just allow the tension to disperse from the fingers. Slowly, slowly relaxing and slowly, slowly noticing how the fingers can spread in tiny twitching motions. Slowly allowing them to do that all by themselves. You can relax the hands and let them drop to your side. So 3, 2, aware of the fingers, and then 1, allowing the elbows and the biceps to relax. That's it, floating down and exhaling deeper as you can really feel them relax and let go. And you can continue to notice your hands, because you can notice the sensations in the palms of your hands. And you send the tingling relaxation of your hands through the arms and the shoulders, flowing down your back to your core. As you relax the muscles of the arms and the neck and the shoulders, and relaxing the head, your calves, all the way down to the feet. You can notice the tingling sensations or warmth in your hand, and that can flow all the way through and down to your feet. So you can notice your toes and your fingers and your nose. Nose that it can spread energy through your breath. And you can visualize or feel a light that can flow through the top of your head. And let that be a healing, loving, wise light energy that can flow and bring peace to every molecule of your body. And let that light flow into your body. And discover if that light can have a color. As you do an induction, look for and notice the 19 signs of hypnosis, like this changed breathing. Can be like transparent, clear white, or a bright color. So for you, in a word or two, what kind of color could that light have?
White with purple hue.
Okay, so allow that white with a purple hue to flow down the crown, flowing along the face and the jaw, through the throat and the neck, and noticing how you can speak even as your body is relaxed, and with every breath it relaxes, as the color soaks and saturates. It can bring a healing, loving, wise light energy that can flow within you, through your heart center, through your core, through your breathing, down to the base of the spine. A loving, wise energy through your heart, beating, sending loving energy through the knees, sending loving energy through the knees. Flex able now to fill with that healing, bright energy, because you can step forward into new levels of peace and freedom. And this light can flow within your body, and it can surround your body. Imagine that white, purple energy surrounding your entire body in a healing, protecting cocoon of light. And that can surround and protect you and bring your core qualities of wise, loving light energy to the forefront. So in this bubble of light, visualize or imagine a staircase of light that can take you down deeper with 10 steps into a place that can access your past. One that can access your sub and now your superconscious mind. So with 10, discovering your staircase. It may be like marble, a spiral, made out of a material or a pure light energy. So with 8, as you feel yourself going deeper down, in a word or two, if that staircase had a color for you, what could that color be?
White.
Now, I give a lot of options, so she can use her creativity to discover her own staircase. I don't describe one very specific staircase, and I ask a question again to throw it back to her, making sure she's following my words and instructions and getting her used to speaking. So you continue down the white staircase with 7, slowing down deeper into your subconscious with 5. Doesn't mind that before you get to the bottom, your mind can be ready with 3 to step into a place in nature you can feel at 1. So in a moment you'll be able to go through a door and find a place in nature or a place of healing that's comfortable for you. So with 0 now, stepping through, first impression, is that a place in nature like a garden or a forest? Or a place like a healing temple or a building, somewhere inside or outside? First impression for you.
Garden.
Okay. Notice in hypnosis, people can be reluctant to speak, so you may have to explicitly invite them to speak. So in this garden, notice if you can walk and notice the colors. If there are flowers or trees, you can notice colors of orange fruits, yellow flowers, red roses. Trees that have the ability to reach high into the sky and have deep roots that are grounded into the earth. And here you can be aware of your own body that can feel grounded in the chair and grounded in the energy centers of your body. And so as you explore that place, is there somewhere you can settle in that garden? And there can be a central point in this garden that you can find now and that you can return to later. So from this perspective in the garden, describe what you see close to you.
A rocking chair.
Okay. You can discover or create what's right for you. So that rocking chair can have a gentle, peaceful movement. So we give a general description of the whole, but we elicit from her a central focal point and a place she can create and make her own. We can then utilize that and find and give it extra layers of meaning by riffing some customized script for her that we can interweave with our whole process. And the chair can rock in a way where it's like your fingers, they're little movements, but then the chair, you have to rock the chair a little bit to get it rocking. But then the chair rocks on its own and you just go with the rhythm of that rocking. So that's a great way to continue, because now you've found a wonderful place that you can return to and you've put some momentum in motion. And soon you'll be able to return to this chair at any time. And you're here because you can tune into your subconscious that knows how to move. And just like a rocking chair, you may go backwards or forwards in time. We can choose to tune in to past lives. We can, even in the past, go forward or back. And if at any time you want to make a change, you can simply float up and watch it from a distance. You can return to this chair where you're safe and comfort, able to tune into the elements of your subconscious that can work with you. Past life regression narrative for Maggie.
Feels like outside.
Okay. So outside, notice if that feeling is the energy of a town, a city, a countryside. And if it's outside, notice your place in it. And so what's the sense of the body that you have in that space? You're wearing clothes. And if you were to look down at your feet, down at your body, does it feel like a male or female body?
It's not very clear, but my feeling is male.
It can take time for it to come into focus, or to find the one question out of all these choices that will create the bigger response. Does this feel young, child, an adult, an elder? You may notice by imagining looking down at the clothes you wear, taking steps forward, the feet you have to do that.
Maybe bare feet.
Okay.
Lean body, not old.
Okay. Play it forward a little. So notice the feet, lean, barefoot, and allow your vision to expand a little bit. So notice the kind of environment you're in. Is this like a forest, a meadow? What kind of ground is beneath your feet?
Feels like forest.
Play it forward a little to notice life around you. Notice your own life. Notice the feelings you have there. And what may draw you to be in that place. Your occupation. Does it feel like you're doing something connected to your occupation or recreation? Do you have a sense of purpose from being in that environment?
I think there are a few other people climbing a cliff.
Now we've broken through to narrative information. We've got people and things she's doing, so we can go to this new set of questions. Play that forward. Are you climbing the cliff with them, or are you watching them?
I think I am climbing.
Okay, that's good. Play it forward. And first impression, what kind of country or continent could this be based on the geography? And get a first impression of your race in a time period.
I think it's Asia from my look.
Okay, Asia in a time period you could first impression.
Because I have nothing much that I'm carrying or nothing much around me.
Okay.
It's hard to tell the time, but just the feeling is it's not a very ancient time.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So keep playing it forward and notice that cliff. So we're slowly being drip-fed little pieces of information. It's enough that we accept and reiterate what we get and build on it. Do you get a sense you're trying to achieve something?
Trying to deliver a message or get a message, something like that.
Do you feel that you're succeeding in this as you keep playing it forward?
Can't really see them, but I feel there are 2 or 3 others. A man of similar to my age. He has well-built body with long hair, but maybe tied. Feels like he's my good friend or close companion. His energy feels like my sister, my youngest sister.
So now as you can continue on, you can move to the next time. Another significant time in that life. Hours or days ahead as your journey completes.
I can just see, the roof of a Buddhist temple.
Okay.
Like I'm looking up.
Play that forward and see what happens as you approach the temple. How does it feel to see the temple, by the way? Does it feel like this was the place that you were going to?
I just feel that I'm going to stay there for some time. I feel like I'm left there alone.
How does it feel to have made it there and to be left there?
Peaceful.
Okay. To play it forward to a next significant time. Peaceful is not a causative event of emotional residues at the core of our issue, so we keep playing forward until we get to a significant event where you are likely connected to some people in that temple. So what are you thinking
There
of?
can be people around, but I don't interact much.
Does it feel that a significant time has passed since you arrived?
Maybe a few months or a year or two.
You can be aware of this Buddhist temple and also connecting with the teachings that are inherent in that temple. And you can notice that you can be in a garden in that rocking chair where you can invite your spirit guide or guides to be with you. You can imagine, visualize, or feel the beautiful light that fills every cell of your body and your mind, so you can merge with your higher self and your knowledge of past lives and invite and communicate with your spirit guide. And you may find that you too can connect with a spiritual energy or knowing, a skill or ability to tune into.
Not getting much images, but I have this feeling or thought that I have a lot to teach people.
Is there anything else you can add about that particular time before we move on?
I saw a year in 1938.
Okay. Even notice the colors of the robes, the colors of the monastery. Does that indicate to you a particular branch of Buddhism?
Just have this some familiar feeling, so maybe Tibetan Buddhism.
I get a date of 1938. It can be relevant to get a sense of the historical context. This time, up into the 1950s, there were a series of invasions and attacks on Tibetan monasteries, and that could be significant. So now we can play it forward to a next significant time. And you're here to reconnect with skills and abilities, with supporting resources, and you've done that. And now we can play it forward because you can reconnect with positives and you can reconnect with things that are difficult. So you may play it forward to a next significant time that is an obstacle or a block that created something like a negative residue, like an anxiety or a feeling of sadness. To heal deeply, we need to find a deep wound to be healed. We need to break through the barriers. And they can be strong like a rib cage if we're going to get to the heart of the matter. So now I explicitly ask her for a core causative emotion. So with 3, you can play it forward to a next significant time that's causative to your issue, whatever that may be. And I'm here to support you. And you're here to support your past self by getting the information, and we'll work with whatever comes up. We've done a lot of prep and warm-up. Now it's the time to face it and get it done. So with 2 from 1938, perhaps playing it forward to the next significant time, wherever that may be. With 1, it comes forward and into focus. With 0, now.
So, chaos.
That's it. Play it forward. First impression. What happens there? Notice if you're inside or outside.
I'm not sure. It's just like from my right side, same room or in a different room. Some kind of chaos approaching.
Okay. That's it. Tune into your breathing. Notice your breathing, how that changes. Chaos approaching. And you can be aware of this breath. And I'm here with you. The chair's supporting you. And you can notice that feeling and be true to it. Allow it to be there. Witness it and watch it. Notice the room you're in. And get a sense of what could that be approaching. So allow that to play forward. You're here so you can see it and learn from it. That's it. You're doing great. Continue on. That approaching thing be.
I don't know, maybe.
That's it. Feel those feelings. We finally hit on something. We want to go as deeply and fully into this as we can. Notice how I firmly encourage her and reassure her that we are here to go into the darkness because together we can shine a light on it. I want to stir up the events and emotions to learn about and deal with them. I will keep encouraging her to have courage, to have heart, to face the feelings. What is that? What is that emotion? Is that an anxiety? A fear?
My students.
Okay. What's happening there with your student? That's it. That's it. You're here to get this message. You are here to get this message. This is the power of an emotional breakthrough from a past life event that's at the core of what we've been looking for this whole time. So stay calm as the emotion arises and look for clarity on its cause and know it will transform. So don't try to comfort or apply therapy yet. Get the full message. And you can hear me and you can
My
see.
students.
Yes, what happens to your students?
Oh. Something bad is happening to them.
Yeah. So be aware of those feelings. What are the thoughts that are happening there?
Save them.
Stay with the emotion and learn the thoughts connected to it. Often it's a key word or phrase.
I can save them.
Okay, so there's that thought, I can't save them. There's that awareness, something's bad's happening to them.
Yeah. I can't visualize it, but I can feel that they have been attacked or killed.
So you can notice the narrative, you can notice the events, you can notice the thoughts and the feelings, and you can feel those feelings. And this is part of the message. You're climbing along the cliffs to get or deliver a message. Your subconscious can give or deliver a message to you now. This is a way of powerfully communicating. So you can be aware of these feelings. These feelings can take you back into those moments. And so now I take over. She has an overwhelming, painful emotion of loss for her students and a thought frame of, I can't save them. I start my reframe with reference to the story she gave me and noticing the metaphor that the start of the scene was her climbing a cliff to deliver a message that connects to this scene. Here, her subconscious mind is sending her a message that this is the significant causative event. This experience is the message we've been looking for all session, and we can be aware of that and sit with it and appreciate what we get from it. And as you play it forward, what happens next? And how do your feelings change? There was the anxiety and sense that something bad was going to happen. Then something bad did happen to your students. Then how do these emotions continue to change and these events develop?
I feel like I'm meditating over what happened. I taught impermanence, so I have to now realize and meditate that nothing is happening.
So in this moment, where are you?
I feel like I'm outside. I feel some trees over my head. I'm slightly older.
All emotions rise and fall. One way to stay calm while people are having an abreaction is to realize that this emotional event, like all things, is impermanent. It will rise and fall on its own. So sit with it and have a curiosity on how it will change and develop on its own. You're alone or with people?
I don't feel anyone.
Okay.
I'm feeling my knee pains.
Yes, tune into those knee pains. What can be a cause of those? Have you had to make a long, difficult walk, or have you sat in meditation for very
I
long?
feel like, I think so. That's my feeling. I think I sat for a very long time.
Sat very long, okay.
Yeah, I feel pain
Yes.
in my legs.
Remember, in her intake form, her minor joint issues felt healed by age regression, but she still had major joint issues with her knees. Now we've found a clear past life connection to that physical manifestation in this life. Notice what happens then as you meditate on impermanence, sitting outside very long. What happens next? Do you come to a kind of a conclusion or a realization?
I don't know. I just feel like it's my thought right now, but
Even in the aftermath of a massive subconscious breakthrough to vividly, emotionally relive a key past life moment, people can still question and feel their conscious mind is there. This is common and it's okay. You'll see this a lot. She's not unconscious. She has, and it's okay for her to have, a witnessing part of her conscious mind. But we can reassure her and point out obviously her sub and superconscious mind is still coming through.
I feel that things happen. People who do bad things are not necessarily bad. They just play certain roles.
It just is. There isn't a good and bad. This phrase has a tremendous amount of transcendent wisdom implicit within it. It's an almost instant expression of wisdom and compassion that we can build on soon. What kind of conclusion does that let you come to?
Probably I taught impermanence for a long time, and losing my students taught me, made me practice what I taught for a long time. And those people who killed my students played a role there as doing bad, but to teach me that nothing is permanent. But I can also realize and forgive them.
We'll come back to that soon. But for now, can you play this forward to an end of that lifetime? So now we have the key narrative event and a clear road to the therapeutic resolution. First, we can fully complete the narrative story of that life, past life regression resolution for Maggie.
Nothing is permanent. But I can also realize and forgive them.
We'll come back to that soon. But for now, can you play this forward to an end of that lifetime? Since Maggie now has the major story and is at peace with it, so now we progress the narrative to the end of lifetime. So you've sat and meditated long enough to hurt the knees, become slightly older. What happens next? You play that forward to years down the track or towards the end of this lifetime. So with 3, playing it forward. With 2, towards the end of that life. With 1, now.
I feel like I grew quite old. I'm sure I taught more. I'm at my old age.
Whereabouts are you? Who are you with? What is happening there?
I'm just peacefully lying down. I think I was loved by my little students.
You're able to find new students and continue to teach, is that right?
I think so.
Notice the life changes that have happened. Play that forward towards even the moment of leaving your body, the emotions and thoughts.
I'm peaceful. I'm ready.
And play it forward and what happens next.
Just floating out of my body. Like a steam.
Are you able to look down and see your body on the bed or see the time that you're in?
Yeah, I can see my body lying down sideways.
Okay. Notice your feelings towards that body, that vehicle.
I feel thankful.
And what kind of gratitude do you feel? Thankfulness?
Did not give up on my mission to teach.
Notice Maggie has much more of a flow in her speaking. Before she was a bit hesitant, likely wary of the difficulty she might face ahead. Now we've found it and it's past. She's more relaxed and fluent in understanding what it means. In general, if we never face the darkness, we can stay in perpetual anxiety over an unclear trauma. But if we have the courage to face it afterwards, we become at peace and wise. This is the whole point of what we're doing. Okay, so notice that gratitude, thankfulness. I did not give up on my mission to teach. I taught some very deep, difficult things like impermanence. I learned and continue to teach some things, and I did not give up.
Yes.
You had that meditation of understanding impermanence, and shortly afterwards, you obviously then, as a consequence of that meditation, decided to move on and to find new students and new people to interact with. You sat so long, you had that pain in your knees. What happened to that pain in the knees? As you leave that body, you leave all the pain of that old body. Can you leave all that behind, including any of the pain in the knees?
Yes.
Okay. Even as I do this end of lifetime, I can use it to apply a therapeutic resolution and come back to the narrative after. So for now, I jump ahead and take the opportunity as she leaves a past life physical body to do a breaking the bonds of time, to address a key physical residue and effect that she carried into this life of the knees. And so as you look down on that body and leave any of the pain from those past times, and is it appropriate to leave 60, 70, 80, 100%? What proportion of any pain relating to past lives can you leave behind fully now?
At least 70%.
Okay, at least 70%. So you can make a decision now to consciously break the bonds of time. You've discovered some past life causes of present life issues. We can resolve these issues by talking directly to the subconscious mind. We know part of your mind is in time, so past lives can affect each other. Yet part of your mind is beyond time, so you can break the bonds of time. And you can make a decision incrementally. You can release at least 70% of residual energy, particularly relating to physical pain. And so as you hear these words and exhale and agree with them in your own mind, as I release at least 70%, how much do you think it could be actually, even by what we've said so far? Do you think that could now increase to 80 or 90%?
Yeah.
Okay, so let that be 90%, releasing and letting go that increment of any old pain, particularly the knees, and let that cross over to any pains in the joints. You're going to release and let that go. You found the cause of it. So that's a quick version of breaking the bonds of time for a specific physical effect. I explain this technique fully in the PLR therapist training, so now I'll plant a seed that we'll soon expand on with reframing, and I'll go back to the narrative story of the end of lifetime. Just as you float out of that body peacefully, you can peacefully leave behind any of that past pain. So I wonder if as you left that body, do you stay for some days or a week or two, enough to see your funeral? Did you stay to witness anything after that?
Not really, but I know that my student said goodbye to my body.
What kind of way did they say goodbye to you? What kind of words or emotions did they have as they said goodbye?
Love, respect, and gratitude.
Feel all of that love and respect and gratitude from one student, and feel love, respect, and gratitude from another student. And can you accept and allow yourself to accept the love, respect, and gratitude from another student and from all those students, giving you love, respect, and gratitude? Can you feel and accept their love, respect, and gratitude now?
Yes.
Okay, so let that love, respect, and gratitude from them fill your body. And that's a testament to the life you've lived. Are you able to now float up, looking above you, leaving that body? What could you see up above you?
I feel I am meeting my students that I lost.
What happens next?
I just feel their energies. They're welcoming me.
And how does it feel?
They said you passed your test.
So, smiles, laughter, and what can they tell you about their experience? You said bad things were happening to them. They're being attacked. As they were attacked and dying, you said, I can't save them. As you're laughing and smiling now, what can they tell you about their own life?
They're fine.
And
They're fine.
they're fine.
Yeah.
But in the past, you had said you had cried. You had cried, I can't save them. If they can speak to that younger you who said, I can't save them, what might they
Said it's
say?
okay.
Yeah,
They said it's okay. They're fine.
okay. But
It was just a test.
okay. So now we move to the therapeutic resolution of reframing. She's already shown at the end of the last video an ability to get to a general frame of acceptance and gratitude with forgiveness. Now we remind her of her initial frame that it's bad that my students are being attacked, and remind her of her key phrase, her interpretation, her frame that it's bad that I could not save them. So now I invite her to reframe that specific phrase based on her inner wisdom. And remember, this is a phrase she carried forward into this life and told us in an initial interview. She goes quickly to phase 2, recognizing it as a helpful test to complete a lesson in impermanence. This leads us then into a wisdom-based compassion and forgiveness. Did they need you to save them, or did they need you to learn something from it?
It was my lesson.
That old statement, I can't save them, I'm sad about this, that was never really the point, was it? Your duty wasn't really to save them.
No, it was my lesson.
And what can the students say? Can they accept and forgive those that had killed and attacked them? Or understand and forgive?
Yeah. They did not really hold anything against those people.
Is there anything else that they can tell or communicate?
They said, I don't give up on my mission. Just like I did not give up on my mission to continue teaching.
Continue to move up and onwards and connect with a particular spirit guide of yours. What could it say about the totality of the life you lived and the lessons you learned?
Similar to this old man that I saw before.
Okay.
With white hair.
Can you ask for a name?
Could this sound raw or something?
Okay.
Raw, raw.
Does it feel like an energy that's been with you over a number of lives and lifetimes?
I think so.
Can you ask, my students say I passed my test. What exactly was my test? Did I pass? Are there any other teachings?
Endurance.
Endurance.
Yeah. Endurance that would ultimately lead to realization that I can see the bigger picture of the events.
Okay, and
And
endurance.
forgive myself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so tell about that forgiveness.
Something that looks like failure does not really mean a failure. It can just be a test,
Okay.
a lesson
Okay.
to see even the higher levels of knowledge and realization.
Okay. So absorb that wisdom. Something that looks like a failure can just be a test. So you can forgive yourself and learn endurance. And this can, yeah, allow that understanding to soak and saturate through you. From here, we can reflect from this place of wisdom on the journey that you've had. We started off talking about a fear of facing people in the face of responsibility, freezing when I think that I'm failing at work. I can't find my voice to explain or be flexible. There was a fear of the people coming to attack the students. There was a sense of failure or of not being able to save them. And then there's a realization that I can forgive myself. I passed the test. The test wasn't to save their bodies physically. The test was to understand and accept impermanence and to be at peace with that and to not give up and to continue to teach others, which you did, and earn the love, respect, and gratitude of more students, isn't it?
Yes.
And so when you think about fear of facing people and freezing when you think that you're failing, how do you think you may approach fear in the future? Or thinking that you're failing in the future, knowing what you know now?
Suddenly in my mind, failure is not a real failure. There's never nothing like a failure. It's only a lesson if I just go through that.
Yeah.
I will be able to know more, learn more, and share more.
How does it feel to know that now?
Feels good, liberating.
Okay.
Feels liberating, yeah. And I'm getting a message that I have to trust my wisdom.
Yes. Tell more about that message.
I know a lot about human life here, the suffering, the limitations that we set, the pain, and ways to overcome those pain.
So you can let that sink in. This realization can sink in with every breath. Now I move to repeat and reaffirm the reframing, and the script already summarizes the insights she discovered on her own. You can use this framework and connect it to many of your clients' insights too. And so by doing this, you've been able to see things. That wisdom has been able to help you go beyond the frame of good or bad. We talked about, oh, let's connect with a good time when you're a student and a teacher, and then a bad time. But that bad time ended up being part of the test. There was no badness necessarily in it, but certain people playing karmic roles they had to play so you can forgive them. And you didn't do a bad thing by failing to save your students. Your students loved and respected you, the ones that passed away and the ones that are so grateful that you continued. So you've transcended the frame of good and bad. You've reframed to see everything as being helpful on the spiritual path. And you've been able to see that with acceptance and gratitude, regardless of the circumstances. So it allows you to express a wisdom of compassion and forgiveness. Knowing what you know now, you know about your individual karma.
I can teach and also implement what I have realized. Not just teach, but also implement it and help people overcome their pain by helping them realize it's not permanent. It's not something that they can release and overcome. There is always a way to overcome their pain if they want to or know how to. So I can help without going through dramatic events like I did in my previous life.
Okay, by recalling today some of those traumatic, difficult events, so you don't need to repeat those kind of events. You can take the lessons you've learned and apply them into this life to help people who have had traumatic events in this life and to get through it.
Yes.
Now we move on to imagine the near future. So, can you imagine how this can flow through into the next days, weeks, months, or years, where you're able to take the lessons you've learned and apply them, playing it forward with 2 and 1, stepping into that future scene. Now, first impression, what's happening there?
I see myself happy and satisfied because I can heal people's physical and emotional pains. Also teaching others. I have students teaching them how to heal people's physical and emotional pain.
And notice the state of being you have while you do that. Notice your feelings and thoughts. Notice your tone of voice as you engage confidently and teach a group of people confidently. I bring it full circle. You can integrate many of the things you've experienced, and you can connect this to things in your own life. So now we go to the sections wrap up and let the client conclude. As their PLRT journey ends, you realized many things. One part that seemed like a great suffering was part of a great lesson. There's a kind of eternity of love and wisdom and compassion. So for you, in a word or 2, how would you summarize what you've experienced in this session?
Forgiving myself over what seemed like a failure.
Okay, let that exhalation be a culmination of your self-forgiveness. Because by forgiving yourself for things that looked like a failure, you give yourself the opportunity to move forward, liberated, having healed yourself through any physical pain through the knees, that were a symbol of the meditation that allowed you to experience impermanence and persistence to not give up. You've been able to reframe bad experiences as great teaching experiences. Been able to forgive others, be forgiven, forgive yourself, and break the bonds of time. So that enables you to move forward and to reconnect with your healing destiny and your ultimate life purpose, and healing yourself and others. So as we bring this to a conclusion, I'd like to thank your higher self and spirit guide for their assistance and ask them that they integrate this past life recall into your daily life. So anytime you think of this session, you become more present in the now and bring back all these learnings so they integrate fully and completely into this life. You've done great. So in a moment I'll count you up to 5. And at 5 you'll be able to come back fully into this body, fully into the moment, feeling good. Beginning with 1, and just wiggling those fingers with 2. Aware of your body with 3. So breathing in deeper with 4. Moving the fingers and the toes with 5. So getting ready to come all the way back. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the eyes can open, and coming back. All the way back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling refreshed and alert, feeling good. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Interesting experience.
Yeah.
Even as we bring Maggie back, you'll see she remains in a degree of a hypnotic state. So we can do a post-formal hypnosis interview and integration, past life regression post-session interview with Maggie. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling refreshed and alert, feeling good. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Interesting experience.
Yeah.
Any highlights for you? How do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel I have found some piece of myself.
Now we can make an observation that the session was, in conventional terms, about discovering mass murder and loss, and yet how that can end in smiles and laughter. Yeah, big smile. What are some of the thoughts going through your mind? What kind of piece of yourself?
Maybe more confident. Recalling the last part of that life gave me that feeling that I'm already wise enough that I can have confidence in myself, that I don't need to doubt.
Any other reflections? Any other thoughts?
Leading towards the significant events, I was feeling my knee pains. It was like coming up and then disappearing, and then it came up and then disappeared.
Mm-mm.
It was very significant, yeah. And then when I was letting go of the pain, also I felt the pain quite intense. This shoulder and then my knees.
Okay.
Yeah, now I feel fine.
Looking back over some highlights, we actually were going along a little bit slowly for a while. It seemed like, oh, I'm walking in a forest. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I'm going up a cliff. I don't know who these people are. So it was a bit of a slow build. But then we did,
Yeah.
I see the monastery. I don't know if I'm connected. But then eventually we connected with that emotion of that someone's coming, some problem's going to be there, and so then you started to reconnect with that anxiety, that fear, that loss. We shifted into gear, isn't it? So did you notice that? Did you feel, oh, maybe I'm making this up? And then it suddenly became quite real?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I thought until I started feeling the emotions, I was thinking I'm just making this up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and then just like the last time in my age regression, only the emotion made me realize that the experience was real. Until then, I thought I was just imagining it and making it up.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is actually a good lesson for people doing past life regression. So even myself, as we were going along, I was thinking, not quite sure if we're going to get there today. We're going quite slowly, and we haven't got much, and nothing much significant. Cross my fingers. I hope we hit something soon. And then for, and then so I was patient, you were patient, and then finally we
Mhm.
did get there. Remember, this was Maggie's first ever experience of personal hypnosis or hypnotherapy or any form of regression like past life regression. Now, you may also have clients who quickly and easily access past life events, but they may still also have a doubt over whether they made it up. That is also only removed by the really strong emotional response they have to it. That's the critical convincer. Yeah, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
You did
Thank you.
it.
Can I sit up? I think my messages were very clear. I got what I needed.
Okay.
I'm still a little bit, my eyes are still a little bit blurry, still in the air a bit.
So well done.
Yeah, and your questions were very timely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything in particular?
When I described that I was in a monastery, in a temple, and sitting there and nothing, not much of interaction, and just staying there was probably I didn't want to see the painful part of my experience. And
Hmm.
when you said it's okay to experience it, I think it prompted me to go ahead.
This is an absolutely critical observation. Most past life regression therapy sessions that have limited results or limited emotional reactions are because of a lack of rapport or confidence to address those areas of darkness. Building up to and preparing for this is integral to every step, and it can take a while to build in the session. It may even require a few sessions. So if you don't get it in your first 1 or 2 sessions, it doesn't mean that you can't or they won't access it. It means you may just have to work hard like I did to break through any of their stalling or any of their barrier. That makes sense actually, because I think even what part of the reason why it's a little bit slow at the beginning is there's a little part of you stalling.
Yeah, actually, yes.
which, which,
Now
which,
looking back, I was.
yeah, okay. And that's natural and it's to be expected. And so that's part of, my job is to build up a bit of confidence, to let you, if you want to take a bit of a slow route, to let you take that, but also to encourage you, which is okay, we've still let's get to it. If we're going to do it, let's do it. And so that certainly can happen. It's a common pattern. Got into the significant stuff, so that's what we needed to do. And well done for being open to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think this will be a really useful teaching tool for people.
I hope
Um,
so too.
Past Life Regression Post Therapy Interview. We take people through a program of past life sessions, so we might see them once a week for a few weeks. We can then follow up a week or a month later and see the impact of our sessions have had. Our first email and contact was 2.5 months ago. And back then I asked you if you'd done hypnosis and you said no. And I asked you if you're a healer and you said, I don't know. So that's, that's what you put on the email back then. And then we had our past life regression session. It's now almost a month and a half ago. And
Yeah.
the issues that you wanted to deal with then are relevant because you said, I want to deal with confidence issues in working with holistic healing. And I want to know if I can
Yeah.
really experience past life regression without blacking out or
hmm
any regression. And so then you had success with age regression on your own. And then we had that experience of past life regression, and we haven't spoken since. You'd studied my past life regression therapist training. You've been able to put that into practice and do a number of past life regression sessions with people yourself. How has your confidence been as a healer as you've been doing past life regression sessions?
Yeah, it's grown very fast. Yeah. Since between the time I wrote email to you and our my past life regression session, I grew a lot. And then after that, it accelerated more.
Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of natural for me to do past life regression and hypnosis in general. But I didn't have, probably because I had never experienced it myself, I did not have this 100% confidence of whether what I'm doing is real or not. Obviously, my clients were reporting lots of interesting facts and even results, but I was still not that confident. And after my own session, I kind of grew more confident in my experience and my clients' experiences also.
So congratulations. That's a lot of great things to come
Thank
out.
you.
You had a long list of things for us to cover, and it's so interesting, isn't it? But a bit of age regression, a bit of past life regression, and you think, how can we
hmm
possibly cover all of these factors? But just going to some key causative events, and then having that ripple through and relate to the present moment, it is quite amazing. And
Yeah.
it was great to go through that experience with you and to then see these results. So, congratulations and thank
Yeah.
you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. I should thank you.